And I am already back. How about that? There we go. And on to the animation portion of the night. By the way, if I'm talking too loud, let me know so I can like adjust my mic. Let's clear this scene. New scene. Don't save. Let's go grab that character again. Drag him back up in here. See all takes. So here we go. Here's little dude. Yeah, he's a cool little dude. Oh, and he falls and he hits the ground. His name's Pepe, apparently. P-E-P-E, Pepe. So this is me looking at his file for the first time. So I'm gonna do a little exploring, see what they got here. So this must be the this is the mocap. Yeah, that's the mocap. And here's Pepe. His mesh. There's the camera interest. So there's a camera in the scene. Or there used to be a camera in the scene. It must have gotten deleted. So I don't need that interest. I'm just going to delete that. So this is interesting. They put a control rig on the motion capture. So whenever you characterize a character, like motion capture, like a skeleton from motion capture, you don't have to make a control rig for the motion capture. You can do whatever you want. Just as long as it's characterized and working well with your character, your character is going to read it. I wonder if they did some editing. I wonder if they did editing on the mocap skeleton itself. It looks a little hanky and janky right here. Like I'm watching it. Yeah, look at that. Here, let me select his hips. Let's look at what his hips are doing. Look how it's got this weird little thing up there at the top. Right there. See that? That's weird. I think somebody did a mediocre motion editing job on that to kind of get him to be in place as he slips and falls. Is there any animation layers? Is there anything on a... There's Pepe. Here's Skeleton, which his control rig is not turned on, which is good. Yeah, looks like everything's baked down. Slip, fall. Cool. Well, he's baked down, so technically I don't need that skeleton anymore. So I'm just going to grab all that. I'm going to add it to a group and turn that off. And just hide that group. And turn off floor contacts because I do not need those. I also don't need fingertips. There we go. Oh, Pepe fell. He's got these kind of big feet, doesn't he? Okay, they did give him toes. Let's turn off his skeleton. Pepe, turn you off. Somebody calling me? Wait, did somebody try calling me? Yeah, that's weird. It's like, sounded like somebody was trying to call me, but I didn't see any number pop up. That was strange. All right. Oh, I haven't even thought about it. I've got the Discord thing up. Not that anybody ever uses it on my channel, but it's there. All right, what can we do to make this work and look good? First thing I think I'm going to do is I'm going to throw in a floor. I think I want to prepare this prepare this scene. So I go to my asset browser, elements, plane. I'm going to throw that in and zero all that out. and scale it up a little bit, like so. And then you go to Properties and Viewer Options. And right now if I rotate underneath it, I can't see him. So I'm going to, on the cullings, is set to both. I'm going to just say outer. So if I drop the camera below the ground plane, I can still see him. But now I have a ground plane to work off of. Let's throw in shadow, live shadow. So asset browser, shading elements. And by the way, this is stuff that I've covered in previous tutorials as well. So just doing the same stuff over and over again. So live shadow. I'm going to duplicate my plane though. And I'm going to put my live shadow on the other plane. And I'm going to say replace all. And it doesn't look like anything happened because I don't have any lights in my scene just yet. Elements, I'm going to go grab a light. Drag that in here. And voila, shadow. And the further you pull your light away in space, it's like almost like the brighter it gets. All right, so let's pull this over here like that. I'm going to copy and paste that light and move it over here. So that's my main light. This will be kind of like a rim light. And I kind of want this off to the side. You can see it's putting in all these other shadows because right now all lights are casting shadows. So maybe right about here. Copy, paste. Move that light over here. This will be the backlight or fill light, whatever you like to call it. I'm going to do one more. Copy, paste. And I'm going to zero this one out. And this will be my ground light. So this is the light that bounces off the ground and up. So I'm going to drop that down below. So now I have all my lights over here. I'm going to start with my main light. I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow to it. Not much. I'm going to leave that at 100% intensity. Light 1. I'm going to change this to a blue, even though he is blue. See how well this works. Put a little bit of a blue in there. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. Blue, I'm going to turn this down to 75%. I go to light 3, or well, which says light 2 here, but it's technically light 3. I'm going to add red to this. So I kind of get some red hitting him from behind. I'm going to turn this down to 50%. And then the ground light, which is down here, I'm going to give it kind of a brownish ground kind of a color. And that will be set to 25. There we go. Expand this. Go to my shaders, live shadow. I only want one light, and I want it from my main light source because it's kind of like my sunlight. So I'm going to click on that, lights, and select my main light. And now I only have one shadow. Makes it a little bit easier to work. My shadow intensity is, you can darken it, you can lighten it, whatever works best for you. I like to make it, less than 100, but not too light. Yeah, whatever works best. So there we go. So now I got cool little guy. And he falls. It's like, hey man, oh. Look at, I wonder how he's, and he hits the ground. I hate to say it, I really feel like I really want to retarget this guy better. I want to set up all the retarget settings. That's just me being, anal retentive on motion capture. So here's the deal. If you spend a little bit more time on the beginning. 10 minutes, 15, even half a day. You say you spend a half a day extra just fine-tuning the animation or the retargeting and getting that motion capture like rock solid on your character. You can literally save weeks of work on the back end. I kid you not. So I'll give you a real world example because at work one of my guys had to retarget one of his animations it was a whole set of like 300 and something animations to a character back from from mocap. And if he just retargeted and plotted everything down and started working, he was going to have to take that character and he was going to, per file, move that character over 0 and rotate that character to face the correct direction. Let's say it takes, a minute, per take. That's 380 minutes of just, moving the character into place, rotating it, and plotting it down and plotting it back, and then moving on to the next one. It's very grueling, time-intensive work. But if on the front end, while he's getting ready to retarget from the motion capture to, here, I'll let this play while I talk. So if on the front end, he went and took just one node, which is the root of the motion capture, and moved it to offset the motion capture so that the character is now over 0 facing the right direction, and then plotted down, he just saved himself, 380 minutes of motion editing a character into place before he ever starts doing the actual motion editing and animation. So that kind of goes back to a little bit of time on the front end can save you hours or weeks on the back end. So that's kind of why I'm like, do I want to go in and retarget this guy? Maybe not tonight. We'll just kind of work with this. Let's first things first. Let's get this guy walking. Let's turn off that pull on his feet. Don't need that. Oh, this is interesting. They gave him a toe, but not a toe base. Aha! I just noticed a mistake. This is a characterization mistake. Oh, Autodesk. I'd like to know the reasoning behind why you did this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is a reason why we want that like that and not to have a toe base. I can't think of it, but maybe. All right, let's do things in passes, one thing at a time. First thing I'm going to do is concentrate on this foot, which is actually starting to bother me. Okay, I'm going to fix it. Let's fix this. I've had enough. Fixing it. Okay. Oh, don't need this. Again, I don't know why they put a control rig in here for the mocap. Let's fix this little guy. Oh, let's create a group for everything we just created, so that we don't select him accidentally. All right, good. Okay, Pepe. If I go slow, it's because I'm thinking through a problem. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this horrible 2016, the Hicks 2016 solver. I'm going to go to Motionbuilder. I just think the MB character solver is better. Just an opinion, though. And I'm going to give everybody a Luna. There we go in chat. There's Luna. That's the other dog who's actually by my feet right now. She loves to lay by people's feet. I'm going to uncharacterize him. Puts him right here. This is very interesting. I'm kind of curious what the motion capture pose is. Let's go turn on motion capture and see what he does. So if I go to stance, what does he do? See, look at that. He's straight legs straight down. Okay. We're going to do that to this guy. So let's go back to Pepe here. Let's fix him. See, global. What do we got here? 90, 0, and negative 90. There we go. Okay, so let me try to explain something real fast. Normally, when you're handed a character, let's say I was a mocap studio and my client said, here's my character. Yeah, you can. And the client said, here's my character. Here's my characterized Motionbuilder character. I need animation put onto him because I want to pay you to do it. Absolutely do not uncharacterize their character and apply your motion capture to it, because you will break everything in their game. I know, because I've had that happen to me. I had one of our vendors who was a mocap provider, did motion capture for us. Big name, did big things. I won't say any names of the studio or anything, but they did big things. But they took our character and they uncharacterized it and recharacterized it in a way that they thought was best, and I caught them on it. And yeah, it was literally destroying it. When we get the animation and we start trying to transfer the motion from one character to the next and stuff like that, it was just, everything was breaking and being destroyed. So never ever uncharacterize a character that a client has handed you when it comes time to put motion capture on them, ever. I'm just doing it now because this is just a silly character and I want better motion. So what I'm doing is I'm just getting these arms out straight and stuff. There, I got that straightened out. Normally, when you know the skeleton pretty good, you could probably just quickly go through, like grab a whole bunch of joints at one time and set the values. But I don't know this skeleton, so I'm just going to go one at a time. Yeah, there we go. That would be 0, 0, and 180. I think I need to make Jay my moderator because he can answer a lot of Motionbuilder questions as I'm going through talking. All right, I know his feet are touching, but that's okay. His feet are straight, and that's kind of what the important thing is. Sometimes you have to look at the geo of your character because the feet may have been, like the joints may have been put in a little bit crooked, and you'd have to like rotate them out or something to get them to work. But I think this one should be fine. I'm going to go into his character definition now, and I'm going to look at kind of how they've got him set up. let me see what they call this joint. This is the joint that I'm interested in. And they call this the L-toe joint. So if I go over to his foot, there is his R-toe joint, but I don't want that to be his R-toe. I want that to be the toe base. So I'm just going to delete that. So I select it, hit delete. I'm going to do the same thing for his left foot. Oh, not 0. Delete. There we go. So I've removed the toe out of his control rig. So and I'm going to go to the auxiliary joints, and I'm going to add it into the auxiliary joint. So this is his left foot. So I'm going to hold down X, drag and drop into left toe base. Same thing for the right. X, drag and drop. Looks like everything else is good. So it's got a weird crooked spine, but I'm not gonna straighten that spine. I'm just gonna leave it how it is, see how it works. Oh, does he have a? He does not have a reference. Very important. Very important that you add a reference. And he's got one, which is, wait, is that his reference? It's very strange. This is his pelvis. Huh, interesting. And that's his reference. All right, let's look at this hierarchy here. Let's figure out what's going on. Hips, Pepe. Oh, they made his reference Pepe. It must be a technical reason why they did that. I think for us, though, I'm going to remove Pepe just because this is now becoming our thing. And I'm going to add his pelvis to the mix. I'm going to add a top node to him. So I'm going to go to my asset browser, drag a null in here, drag a null in here, and parent him to that null. I'm going to take that null, and I'm going to rename it reference. All right, there we go. I'm going to drag that. Go back to Pepe. Come on, Pepe. Drag that in there. And if you're doing floor contacts, which we probably should do, I think you should do it. Yeah, I think we should do it. Floor contacts. So I'm going to grab some markers because nobody gave them floor contacts. I'm going to drag some markers in here. All right. I'm not going to take the time to actually name these. I'm just going to put these out here for the heck of it. All right. So that would be left foot floor. This would be left hand floor. This would be right foot floor. And right hand floor. So we talked about floor contacts earlier. What I'm doing is I'm setting up independent floor contacts. And I think we're good. So I will characterize biped. All right. You can see it's changed his control rig around a little bit. See a range from selection. You know what? I don't think I want to use their control rig. I'm going to delete their control rig by clicking delete over here. And it's going to get rid of that. And you can see there's some extra nodes in there that are left over. I'm going to delete those. And I'm going to create a new control rig, IKFK. There we go. Now it's time to retarget this little blue guy. Let me take my jacket off real fast. It's getting hot in here. All right. Alrighty then. So let's go to Pepe. You know, I forgot to turn on the music. There you go. Thought it was a little boring. Now it's exciting. Let's get him reading that animation. Character settings, character, skeleton 2. Oh no, what's going on there? Looks like something is weighted to that joint. That's good to know. Let's fix that. Stance. I think it's this. I think there's some weighting on whatever that root node is, which is not good, obviously. I know what I'm going to do. Constraint. Let's see if this works. This should work, in theory. And you will be the child, and you will be the parent. Snap lock. Let's see what happens now. Let's see if it explodes. No explosions, and it follows them. All right, fix the problem. Of course, he's got this thing sticking out of his backside now. You can see the skeleton. We don't need those footsteps. I'll just delete it. There we go. Now this comes the question: do you make the mocap match the character? Do you not worry about it like I didn't worry about it with the that Battlelord creature I was working on? Do you make the character match the mocap? Mocap match the character? I don't know. What my theory is, it's best to try to get that mocap to match the character. If it makes sense. If it doesn't make sense, don't do it. So let's get that down here like this much, this big. You're right. It would depend on the character and the situation. You're absolutely correct. So that's relatively close. We'll play with this. Let's see how it goes. So I'm going to go to, where is it? Not modifiers. Not offsets. Retargeting. I'm going to match. So now he's matching. He's matching the mocap. What's going to happen if I turn his toes on? This might be a mistake. Let's find out. By the way, I'm a big believer in experimenting. Like, let's see if it works. So he's walking on his toes. That's not good. What happens if I lower his ankle height compensation down a little bit? Whoa, too much. I don't like that. That's the great thing about this. If it doesn't work out, you just say, never mind. I'll try something else. Auto. There we go. Now we're back to auto. But I will do this. I will take his feet and I will turn on IK pull, and I will start adjusting some of these other things. Like I think I want to get rid of my mass center compensation. Should probably get a little bit better read. I think this might be a good pose. This is why it's good to have the range of motion, the ROM that you usually do at the beginning of a shoot, because it's really a really good animation to calibrate your character to. Check out those knees. A little bit of wiggle in those knees. See, chest. Let's pull that chest there. Let's check out the mid. No, nothing really going on there. Head and hands, it's always okay to turn rotation up to 100%. Translation on elbows and hands, though, is another story. You kind of want to be careful with that, because you can make arms IK lock. Start working on this. Get this a little bit closer. Where's his shoulders doing? Let's turn on shoulder solving. There we go. Yeah, his shoulders are working up, moving up a little bit there. I think that's looking a lot better than it was before. Look at, okay, so I wonder if I can do a before and after. So he slips, he falls. There's something in particular. He comes down and he catches himself. Look at that. Catches himself with his hands. What happens if I turn him off? It's where he's not reading the data anymore. Let's find out. Oh, he wasn't even baked down to skeleton, was he? Oh, it was his control rig. I bet it was his control rig. But we deleted his control rig. Well, I'll tell you what was happening, because I remember seeing this. When he was falling, because they weren't paying close attention to hands, his hands were actually kind of going through the floor and into his face right here when he was hitting the ground. You know what I'm going to do? I got an idea. I'm going to save this. Save. Path not writable. All right, save as. Probably because I opened it up from that tutorial section. Save it right here. Watch this. This is cool. We're gonna have a side-by-side comparison. Let me pull this over here. Go to my asset browser. Tutorials. It was it this one? It's one of these characters. Which one did I throw in here? This was Pepe Kianum. This one. All right. I'm going to merge this in with options. I'm appending everything. I'm keeping the animation. It's called take one. I'm going to apply a namespace to this because it's just good practice. I'm going to call this ref for reference. And merge this in. So now we see the two Pepes walk in, and they're going to slip and they're going to fall. And we can see, I'm going to mark reference Pepe a different color if I can. Here's reference Pepe. Let's see if I can put a different color on this guy. See, asset browser, shading elements. Yeah, Did that work? Oh, it did. All right, so he's that color. Let's make him an orange so he stands out. All right, so there's the reference. Well, the first thing to note is they're not synced up because I scaled the skeleton down and I matched a few things. I could probably get them even closer if I come in here and finagle a few things. Which is this skeleton. I could get him a little bit closer by just scaling this down. But already I can see that his arms are a lot closer in the retarget I did to matching what the actor's arms are doing. Although it's not too bad, I guess. So this is kind of like the difference between a good retarget and fixing things on the front end versus not. I think his feet are a little bit more splayed in the original, where this one he's a little whatever the opposite of pigeon-toed is. But I think I need to fix the feet spacing. So characters, Pepe. Also, this is another reason why I like having the marker data with the skeleton, is because it makes it a lot easier to figure out things like feet spacing. So ankle height compensation, yeah, see, feet spacing. Here we go. Let's get his feet out a little bit. Let's check those hips. All right. Let's go back and create a group for my reference. 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 All right, there we go. I should probably really be naming these groups, right? There you go, ref. Pepe. Environment. Organization. Pro tip, keep things organized. You'll save yourself a lot of grief later. I can still see the control rig from the original Pepe, or from the reference Pepe, which is that right there. You can kind of see how is the difference. So floor contacts, right? Hands and feet floor contacts. Let's see what happens when we turn on hand contact. Will this work for us? Let's go down to modifiers, hands contact, and turn it on, and pop, turn it off so you can see it. Through the floor, over the floor. His face needs floor. I think you're right. His face does need floor contact. But it is definitely keeping his feet from going through the floor. Now let's try feet contact. This might prove to be interesting. Now that I've properly turned his toe bone into a toe base instead of just a toe. So hands, feet. Oh, we didn't look at his floor contacts on his body. Let's check that out. So we want to go to, where is it? Show hide. Oh, floor contacts is turned on. Okay, so the key to floor contacts is you want your floor contact generally to be only as wide as the narrowest part of your body, or your foot, I mean. Let's go to stance pose real fast. Oh wait, I had that was the reference. Pepe, here we go. And let's go to stance real fast. Let's look at him here. Where is his floor contact? Oh, they're tiny. They're hard to see. There they are. They're way out there. Let me think. Let me think about this. There we go. Let's just scale it up. They all work together, so just scaling it up. Oh shoot, what'd I do? What's going on to the floor scale? I wonder if it's because he's in stance. Let me take him out of stance. There it goes. Now it's working. All right, so yeah, where was I? Oh yeah, you only want the floor contacts as wide as the narrowest part of the foot. In this case, it'd be his heel. So I'm going to push this up onto his heel. It's great because, you do one side, it does the other side automatically. This lines up with the ball of his foot, or the toe base, which is that. This will kind of like, I'm going to push that back a little bit. Can I? Yeah, a little bit. To be more in line with where the toe actually is. You're probably looking at this going, well, this looks more narrow than there. How come you're not making it narrower here? It's only because he's got a weird kind of toe, but really, heel strikes are what's really, really important, right? So I'm making sure that it is lined up with his heel. He also has them on his hands. So let's go see if we can find those microscopic, there they are. These microscopic floor contacts for his hands. Scale that up. Man, those things are small. And again, I'm going to push this in to be, close. This should be lined up probably with his wrist. You can push him around, but I think leaving this one right where it needs to be is good practice. This one should probably be here. Then you got his fingers, which he's got long fingers, so maybe I'll push these out this way. All right, floor contacts. Let's see what happens when he is reading a character again. Oh, and this is the reference Pepe. So he's walking along, slips, and he falls, and his hands hit the ground. Now let's look at those feet, because that's what we were working on before I started playing with those floor contacts. I'm thinking about this. We'll try it here and we'll see how it looks. It may be one of those situations where it's better to bake everything down to the skeleton level and then deal with floor contacts. So there's feet. He's kind of dragging his feet along, isn't he? It's okay. He's got big feet. I wonder if I recharacterize his spine to be straight, if I can get better bending and movement in his spine. So I'm not getting any sort of flexing in his actual spine. I think I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna experiment. I'm gonna see how it goes. I'm gonna save where I'm at right now, just in case I screw something up. And if I go to Pepe and to his unactivate him, and go to his character definition, and turn that off, he goes right back to there. So what happens if I try to straighten him up now? This is all experimental. Zero out his arms. Let's try that. Characterize. Put him back on the mocap. There we go. Now what happens? Oh, because I uncharacterize him, it means I've lost all my settings. At least on this part of the rig. So let's get some of that back. Yeah. Oh, nope. Don't grab that. All right. Let's play with some of his chest settings now. I feel like the mocap is probably too small. Let's make it a little bit bigger. And I believe floor contacts are still on. Yep, they are. Let's give him something to slip on. Although it's kind of funny because the actor who is slipping obviously is like, whoops. So I'm going to have him step on it right here. So the slipping looked okay, right? And then you put something down for him to actually slip on. You're like, what's he slipping on? He's not slipping on anything. He's just kicking his leg up. So I think I'm going to have it go like this, and then kind of go back like that, and then shoot out this way. All right. He's still live, so there's no motion editing I can do on this guy just yet. His spine is looking a little bit better, even though it's straight, but we can fix that when we start motion editing. Yeah, that's a good point. Getting this maybe torqued to the side. I haven't really concentrated on this. It's more of a placement right now. Like right now, it's not even. Yeah, I'm thinking to hold off on figuring out more than just this basic. I'm stepping on it and I'm losing my balance, where it kind of goes back a little bit, and then he slips and falls. And then I'll see if I can elaborate a little bit on it. It's 10:32. I've got like maybe an hour left before I have to go to bed. Because like I said, I've got to go to the hospital tomorrow for my girlfriend's heart surgery. So let's go ahead and plot this down. Why not? I've screwed around with this long enough. So come up here. There we go. Hey, Mr. Square Peg, how's it going? Whoa, what happened? I know what happened. I know exactly what happened. I think I know what I need to do to fix it. It's that weird root that they put in this character. All right, let's go back to animation control. What I'm going to do is I'm going to bake. How am I going to do this? I know. It's going to involve uncharacterizing him one more time, hopefully. All right. There's a special node in here, which I haven't really talked about or used. This is good if you're in 3D Studio Max and using biped, there's a thing down here called Special. This is called Hip Translation. I'm going to take Pepe, which is constrained right now, and I'm going to drag that right here. But what I need to do is I need to get rid of that constraint now, or at least turn it off for the time being. Because obviously this character requires the translation to be on a separate joint, which happens sometimes with game characters. You'll need it. You need it to be separated. So let's go back to Pepe. This is live, folks. Watch me screw up and try to fix it. All right, so go back to here. Set characterize, biped. Yep, all right. Let's see. Let's get him to read the character. Everything's moving with him. This is expected. Let's reset our settings. Okay, pull head. Little bit on the knees. All right, let's see if it works now. And it worked. That was it. That crazy node is more like a biped node from 3D Max than anything else. All right. Plot to, that's probably what that footstep node was that I deleted. I think that's a biped thing as well. And let's plot to control rig. Yay. We can actually do something fun now and start motion editing. I'm gonna do that right foot first, or left foot first, I mean. So he's gonna come in, he's gonna like so I'm kind of curious at how this will work. Kind of has to, he's got big feet, so he's probably gonna have to pick his feet up pretty high when he walks. Move his foot back. Then 0. Oh shoot. Undo. I just realized a mistake. I was on here on the element mode. I was like, why is his foot acting so weird? Go to body part mode. Rookie mistake. Oh, and I think I undid him enough to where I have to redo his. Oh, I'm tired. Character definition. Auxiliary, or I'm sorry, special. No, it's there. Wow, I really broke him, didn't I? Oh, I wonder if it's the constraint. Biped. No, that's turned off. All right, once again, fix the mistake. All right, let's try not to make the same mistake. Here we go. Here we go. You know what? Motionbuilder may be tired. Motionbuilder is a memory hog. I'm going to quit Motionbuilder and I'm going to relaunch Motionbuilder just to be on the safe side. Yeah, when in doubt and you're getting funny things happening, restart Motionbuilder. Yep, clear out of memory. You'll get little ghosting keys down here and stuff. It's kind of a pain. But yeah, I don't know if you noticed when I had the foot selected, there were like little keys down here in the timeline. They were like ghosted keys. I didn't know where they came from. I was just like, this is strange. That was my first clue of like, I should probably restart. And I'm like, oh, but I'm streaming. Maybe I shouldn't restart. And I was like, screw it. I'll restart. So I'm just kind of doing some broad brush strokes here, right? Like steps on it. It kind of like goes back and then forward. Just going to play with my keys. This is why I didn't want to do too much animation on this thing right now when I first did it. Because I didn't know exactly what was going to happen when I start trying to make his foot roll. This is one of those good times. It's turn off the IK and stuff on that foot at a certain point. Like right here, I want the IK to be on. But at a certain point, I want the IK to be off on that foot. So maybe right here it's on. I'll key that. Right here it's actually off. Just downloaded more RAM. Nice. So I'm going through like what, I'm setting a key on every frame because I want to make sure that I've got the right foot contact. This is interesting. Interesting. So I think I want this leg to come up. Shoom. Ouch, my leg. Oh no, what's going on with you, leg? When in doubt, zero it out. That's a good rhyme. I like that. When in doubt, zero it out. Quick, somebody do a clip. It's a little whippy there. Whoa. There's a little bit of fighting going on right here because this is not what the mocap is doing, right? So if I turn off that layer, I can see what the mocap's actually doing, right? So the mocap, originally he kind of did this because he kind of faked slipping. And, well, first of all, somebody edited the mocap, the actual motion capture skeleton, so I don't know what he really did. I'm using my best guess. So let's go back to animation layer. Whoa. But that's okay. We'll fix that later. This little whippy thing right here. But I'll do that in a separate pass. I think what I do want to do though is I want to get those feet up because he's got these big feet, but he's taking these little itty bitty tiny steps. So I'm going to hit all the key points. When in doubt, zero it out. I like it. And what I mean by when in doubt, zero it out, it means you're going back to the original motion capture and re-looking at what the actor actually did. So I'm going through right now. I'm setting all my my main keys. And I'm going to come here into the passing, and I'm going to pick his foot up, maybe point it down. This is going to be a little bit, it's going to be high stepping. He's got the, has anybody ever gone scuba diving and you have to walk around with flippers on? That's kind of what it's like when you have to animate a character with really big feet. It's like they have these big scuba diving slippers on that they have to walk around on. You have to take these kind of big purposeful steps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flop his toe. So as he goes through the passing pose, I'm also going to make his foot come in contact with the ground now that I think about it. Wait, do I still have floor contacts on? That's a good question. Feet floor contacts, yes, it is on. All right. What I'm doing is I'm just trying to give a little personality to his feet. And I think my timing is off. Not super worried about the timing. So I can always fix that before I bake everything down. All right, so he's taking slightly higher steps. Let's go look at his other foot. I'm going to do the same thing. Just FYI, I'd probably go in here and do a nice clean foot pass where his feet are really sticking to the floor and getting good toe roll before I actually would go into the stepping on the object and slipping and falling. So I'm doing a little trick here where I set a key and I can see his foot wanting to slide back like that because he's just got those big, you know, flipper feet. So I keyed it where it starts to slide back, and right where I think he's going to need to start picking it up, which is right there. And I'm kind of looking at where his toe is at on the screen. In the old days, we would, you know, with old CRT monitors, we would get a dry erase and we'd actually mark right on the monitor. We can't really do that anymore nowadays with all these really nice flat screen monitors. But yeah, I'm looking at where that's at in space. And I'm just going to try to drag it close to. It's not great, but it's just like an easy way to get what you want. You know what I bet? I bet the reason why his feet are so cushy is the actor was actually walking on like a crash mat that was on the ground, which is why his feet are kind of like up at that kind of angle before he puts weight onto it. So again, that's one of those things you have to edit out as you work. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if you did get a chance to look at the death animation I did where the guy gets knocked back and he's like bouncing all over the place. It's because he was landing on like a crash mat and it's springy and cushy. Yeah, and yeah, you would have to go in and, as an animator and or a motion editor and like pull all that sponginess out. And when I did all the death animations on Rage, I did only about 4 or 5 of them a day because they were so complex to do. All right, so let's grab those toes. Catch you later, Pink Werewolf. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate all your support. And by the way, speaking of support, if anybody is interested in some extra strong coffee or jelly beans and want to order themselves some, if you go to my shop, you can go click on those Amazon links and order yourself some stuff. Also in my Amazon cart, shop, whatever, down below, I have tools that I use for when I sculpt and when I animate, like tablets and keyboards and mice, the ones that I like to use. So if you're in the mood to or need to buy a mechanical keyboard, I recommend the Logitech G710. They're not a sponsor of me by any stretch of the imagination, just a keyboard that I've been using for the past 6 years. Yeah, I got it when I started working at Cloud Imperium. Logitech came in and gave us a bunch of stuff because we were like super small indie developer, and they wanted to support us, and they came in and gave us a bunch of stuff. And these G710 keyboards were one of them, and I got a hold of one, and I really have loved it to death. I think I like this toe flop a little bit more, the timing of it, so to speak. It's not as floppy and more like purposeful. His foot is sliding a lot. So you can arrow back and forth between your keys and kind of see how much play is in the foot. That's better. But we won't concentrate on that right now. Let's get back to the fun stuff. So his leg is IKing right here because I've forced it down to touch the ground. You can pin his toe if you want. And right before it starts to IK out, you can take that, you can set a key and then come in and start lifting up on the heel like he's going to roll up on the ball of his toe. So we'll call this first pass, we'll call this foot pass. But I don't want to do everything in one pass. I have the, I think we should break things up. So I'm going to go ahead and plot to skeleton and plot back to control rig. I'm going to fix that one leg while I'm thinking about it, which is this leg. Because he kind of comes up and it's like, whoa, and then it kind of goes crazy right here, right? So I want to get rid of that so it feels a little bit better. Right through here. And in this case, I'm just going to delete keys. Make sure I'm on the body part. I'm just going to, I can do it a couple different ways. I can come right in here and I can delete them. Or if I go into F-curves, I have a few more options I can do to play with this stuff so I don't destroy anything. This is kind of a non-destructive way of doing this. Let me go find his leg. It's right here. That's his leg, the one I want to mess with. And I'm going to keep everything and ghost these curves. So I'm going to, yeah. So I like here. I'm going to delete these keys in front of it or behind it. And I think right here is okay. So I'm going to delete up to there. Now you can see the ghosting, the original curves. And you can see his leg looks a lot better now, just cutting out that wonkiness. Much, much better. His hips still leave a lot to be desired. Let's fix his hips, because that is driving me crazy. I think it's mostly on the translation. I think I want to keep the up and down. No, maybe I don't want to keep the up and down. Look how messy that curve is. Let's delete some of that. Front and back, both ends. Let's play with that. That side to side. Where's my other key? It's right there. All right, so I'm right on it. Just delete a few keys this way where it looks wonky, a few keys this way. So I believe you shouldn't be afraid to delete keys. You should be afraid to keep keys that are causing problems. This is a more difficult one because this is forward and backwards. This is the path he's traveling on. So I will delete this one and this one just to mark where I need to anchor. Yeah, but can you see like this curve? It's kind of messy and ugly. I think I'll delete that. And delete all that. Much better. Definitely a much smoother fall. One of my favorite things to do is just look at the animation. It's kind of is it pigeon-toed? Pigeon toes where the toes are pointing inwards, right? It's kind of pigeon-toed. I think I want his toes to not be pigeon-toed. Part of that is part of the characterization. So I'm going to do a foot fix where his feet are out. I'm going to try it with a single key and see how it looks. Oh, but his toe is locked, isn't it? It is. All right, let's fix that. Just rotate his foot out like that in a single key. I'm going to see how it looks. I like it. I think it looks better. And I can play with that too. So if I go to my rotation, I can see the keys. And I should be able to, in theory, no matter where I'm at in the animation, like right here, be able to rotate that foot out. That's bank. And this is heading. Just kind of see how it looks. I think it's a little bit better. Let's go try that other one. So this should be interesting. I wonder how well this will work because we're going between IK and FK on this one. And try rotating that out just a little bit. Yeah, I think that's a little bit better. It's a little bit better than what it was before. So if I turn off that animation layer, you can see what his feet are doing. If I turn the animation layer on, by the way, the reason why this flipped out and went, sideways is because when I brought it into the scene, it was on the base layer and it was like that. And when I rotated it and keyed it, I did that on the animation layer. So its animation is on a layer. So yeah. Now he had this interesting like posture to his spine. Let's plot this down and let's look at his spine. One of the things I want to do since I'm messing with his spine is I want to turn IK on his hands and rotation on his head. And that is because I am going to be messing with his spine. But I want his hands to continue to do exactly what they've been doing. I'm just going to do it like this. Oh, I didn't set a key. I did everything but set a key. Let's try that again. Oh, I think I did that too high. I'm glad I redid this, because I think I need to rotate him from here. Make this angle a little more extreme. And set a key. That's cool. I think I want him to land flat, so I'm going to set a key here, and then when he hits, I'm going to hit a 0 key. So he's a little more flat. Maybe I'll copy that key, put it right here. Huh. It's a little bit much, but here's a trick for you. So I took this offset key, which has his spine bent like this, right? And then I said 0, zeroed out, and then I brought it back in, that offset, which has the same values, and then he flattens out. But these values are too much, so what's an easy way for me to flatten that spine out? Well, you can grab the key, the offset key that I just created, or you just created, and you can drag it in one direction or the other, and it's going to straighten out a little bit, and then I can set a key and delete the key I just moved and see how it looks. Yeah, it's a little bit better. Yeah, it's a little bit better, I think. And I can just play with these keys to get the timing right. So I think it'd be curved there, and then probably flat right there. That looks like the apex of the bounce. So I'll move that key there. That looks about right. I think I'll do something with this head on this pass. It's like do 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 do. Oh. And head hit the floor. And bounce. And back on the floor. And maybe off to the side, as he says, ouch. I think I'll have him hit like this. Whoa. Boink. The timing is off on that head bouncing. He's kind of a difficult character to work with. Like, I feel like the joint placement in this character is not very good. Like whoever rigged this made some weird choices in my opinion. He's Gumby. Yeah. Did I unhide? I unhid that mocap somehow. Let me hide that mocap. There you go. Yeah, so the timing's not really good on his head, but that's okay. Because this is all additives in an animation layer. We can play with that all we want. Sometimes all it takes is shifting a key one frame one way or the other, and it makes all the difference in the world. In timing, that is. And something that kind of looks not quite right, all of a sudden it's like, bah, pops. It's like, whoa, man, that's cool. Not in this case, though, but keep that in mind when you're hand keying. Or setting any keys, really. Any sort of adjustments. And it is getting close to 11:30. So something that I've talked about in the past, I haven't really touched on here, is posing. This would be a... This could be a great example of good posing. There's really potentially a lot you can do with this motion to make it feel fun and alive. Because I mean, this is a cartoony character, right? And this is like a somewhat natural human fall, right? So, but he's a cartoony character. How can we make this natural motion feel like it belongs on this stylized character? And we can do that with strong posing and timing. Like right now it's a very human speed type of a move, but I think even if we like sped up the timing of the overall animation to be a little bit quicker, it would start pulling it out of that slow natural human motion and bringing it into more of the snappy poppy animation world of animation. So I'm gonna pretend that everything's good here, and I'm going to plot to skeleton and back to control rig, and we're going to talk about posing. Yeah, it's probably the last little thing I get to do before it's time to end my show. It's kind of weird thinking I have a show that people actually watch and are interested in. By the way, speaking of shows, on Sundays I sculpt, right? Like do traditional sculpting. Because I was competing with Game of Thrones. Nobody watches for like the first half hour, 45 minutes. So I've moved my schedule back from 8 or up back. I moved it from 8:30 to like 9. And it seems to be doing better now that Game of Thrones is on. Yeah, I need to watch Game of Thrones. No spoilers, please. I'm kind of waiting. I want to binge watch them. Since I'll be taking care of my girlfriend tomorrow. After she gets back from the hospital, maybe we'll binge watch and get caught up. All right, strong posing. So I've turned the IK off on the hands because I don't want IK to screw me up with this posing. I'm going to turn it off on the feet as well. I'm going to go and, oh yeah, because I keyed it on and off. So since I baked everything down, it's okay to like turn off the keys that I've set on the foot. I'm also going to turn off all my pinning on my feet. Don't need it. I'm going to make sure I don't have any pinning on the toes. That's good. And I want some fun poses. So he comes in, he steps in, he goes... Shoom. But I think I want to do something in the air. So I go from here. I'm going to set a full body key. And I want to find out where I want to come out. So probably right about here where his hands start to make contact with the ground. I'm gonna see what pose works with the motion capture. Again, you want to work with the motion capture. You don't want to fight the motion capture. The second you start fighting motion capture, you might as well just recapture it or do it by hand or something. Let's see, what'd be a fun... Maybe his foot's out like that. Maybe like that. Maybe like this. Oh, look at that. Look at his foot pull. His foot is weighted to something over here. It's a bad weight job. Quick, send it back to the rigging department to fix this. Ha. Oh well. Right now I'm just going to do the legs to kind of see how it feels. Yeah, look at that. Look at his I'm pointing at the screen like you can see what I'm pointing at. Look at his heel right up there. Like something in his feet are not weighted properly. If I feel like the motion captures, I'm fighting it, I will delete these keys and try a different technique or something. Look at that leg whip around. That's funny. What's it doing? Let's play it slow motion. Comes around, comes up, and down. It's a little bit of fighting. This might be a good case to actually go in here and delete a lot of keys, kind of like what we did to fix the leg, and repose it. Just hand key some of it. Let me check out that spine. Maybe I wonder if I can do something interesting. By the way, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing around and experimenting. See if this works. I love to experiment. It's kind of a harsh bounce, but wonder if he has a joint in his mouth. I think he's got a joint up in his head. Ponytail. Yeah, he's got a ponytail. So make it's a poorly weighted ponytail, but he has got a ponytail nonetheless. Oh. This is what happens, ladies and gentlemen, when I don't prepare for this segment of my show. I've got a character that's got poor weighting. I didn't know what his skeleton was. I was just flying by the seat of my pants. Let's make this feel better. We got a couple minutes here. Let's. I want that rolling to stop. I'm going to show you how to make this be a nice, smooth roll. I'm not rotating it. I'm just translating it. There's an expression you can write in a script that will actually, you take the diameter and use the expression, and it will rotate your wheel, for lack of a better term. In this case, our cylinder. It would rotate. Rotate your wheel based off of distance traveled and diameter or whatever. So it looks like it's actually rolling, but we won't worry about it this time. So translation. There it is. I actually want to extend this further. I want it to roll all the way to here. But it's like really slow. It doesn't go far enough. So I think we need to increase the distance traveled. Way out there. Let's see how that feels. Got to adjust that curve. Be more smooth. And this is definitely an abrupt change in direction. So I'm going to come down here. And I'm going to break my... Should be broken. Why is it not breaking? There we go. So it's going to irk and then shoot out that direction. All right, but I want it to come to a more gradual stop. Now, how can I do that? I'm going to make this a little bit smaller, put it up there. I'm going to adjust the weight of the curve. And you can do that by clicking on this WT right there. And that unlocks being able to... I can manually go in there and grab that handle and move it, or I can do it up here numerically. So this is going to take a little bit of finagling to figure it out. So I like that, but I think I want it to travel further. Further and transition slower. It's getting there. But you can see it actually eases out. So 12 principles of animation. One of them is ease in and ease out. And that's kind of what I'm playing with here with this curve. It eases in right here. He really kicks that thing away. I'm going to give that thing a different color. Asset browser, shading elements, grab a material, put it right there. I'm going to color that, let's see, I'm going to color that blue. He's blue. I won't make it blue. Let's do orange. Oh, and by the way, he has no joints in his face, apparently. Which is too bad. It'd been fun to like make him yell or something, scream. Ah! So last thing I'm going to do before I have to call it a night, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plot him down. See, plot to skeleton, plot to control rig. All right. I'm going to select his control rig. That's the reference. That's reference, Pepe. No, I don't want that. I want you. Double check that. There we go. There's the real Pepe. So I'm going to select his control rig and I'm going to smooth out his curves because these are kind of, I was looking at the mocap curves and they're kind of rough. So base animation layer. Select all the translation and rotation for every joint in the control rig. We go to my filters, smooth, and I use a smooth filter. There's different types of smoothing you can do. There's Butterworth, there's smooth. It really depends on what you're trying to do. If this was raw mocap and I'm cleaning up a lot of severe peaks and valleys from bad data or very unclean data, I'd probably want to use Butterworth because it really does a good job of preserving the curve and getting rid of all the junk and noise. If I'm trying to smooth out an animation that's already somewhat smooth, I probably want to use smooth. And I want to click off of use quaternions because I don't need a bazillion keys up here. I just need a key on every frame. The width I'm actually going to turn down from a 4 to a 2. I like to use small numbers. If you use numbers that are too big, you can actually damage and destroy the motion capture. And then, like, if he had, like, let's say, really good walk, where his feet were making really good contact with the floor, they become soft and mushy. I mean, his feet are already soft and mushy because he was walking on a mat. But if I overdid it, then they'd definitely be like gliding on the floor as he walks. So you can see I hit preview and you can see it cleaned up those curves. So I'm going to hit reset so you can see that again. So reset, you can see kind of how janky some of that is. I'm going to hit preview and you can see it smoothed out all those curves. I'm going to hit accept. I can already tell his motion is a little bit smoother. Him hitting the floor is a little bit mushy. I think I'd want to touch up on that. But he's definitely a lot smoother now. Not as there's not as much noise on his motion. Not the greatest animation in the world. I would have liked to have used mocap that hadn't already been edited, which is probably why they had the control rig on it. Like we were talking about that. I was like, why is there a control rig on it? You love the leg kick. Let's compress his animation real fast. I'm now up past my bedtime. Let's compress his animation. So you can do it right here. I can say no snap. And I want to compress it by 30 frames. Which is about a second. So or 32 frames, which is about a second. So let's go to 100. Let's see. I sped it up by a whole second. Of course, that's all out of time. This is no longer synced with him. I do like the speed, though. I wonder if I can make this also... I have to do that on animation layer. I think if I set a key here and a key at here and then select everything. Let's see if this works. We're in experimental territory here. 100. So I tried to scale it the same as he is. Did it work? Yeah, it did. Hey. So now he's moving a little bit faster. Success. Yes. Oh, so there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for stopping by and checking this out and supporting me, and I appreciate it. And just call it quits here, and I will see you all next time. I'm trying to think of what to do next. I have a few ideas for my next tutorial, but anyway, let me kill this music here and head on over to the splash screen. And I want to thank you all. You all have been amazing, and I can't wait to do my next tutorial. You all have a good night, and I hope to see you all on Sunday when I start sculpting. Good night.